What's going on, bro?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast. My name's Stratton Brown. This is my really good friend, Michael Butler.
Does it say we're live, man? I'm having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, man, we're live.
It's telling me to go live at the top. So maybe I'm tripping. Here we go.
No, yeah. Wait on it.
Okay. Should be good.
While you guys are watching and we're getting ready to go, if you guys are looking for cold callers, go to callmagicians.com for the best trained cold callers in the industry. What's going on, bro? How was your Christmas?
Man. It was eventful, man. We had a small group of people come over to our house. Obviously, with the COVID and everything like that, you want to be careful and just try to be as safe as possible. So we had a few people come over to the house, and Bennett was hanging out since like 4 or 5 o'clock. Played games, ate tamales, had some adult sodas, and then open gifts around midnight.
You guys open up all your presents at midnight?
We open up the presents from your parents and your family, and then obviously when we go to sleep, Santa comes and Santa drops off the other gifts.
I wanted to. I want to do that growing up, bro. But I remember my dad would make us like take a shower, then sit on the stairs, get a family picture, just to fuck with us.
Oh man,
it was miserable.
Hey, am I still blurry on your end?
Yeah, man, you're really blurry.
That is insane. I have no idea what it is.
Let me double check real quick. No, it's me, bro. I'll switch over.
Oh, okay. I'll say because I see it on, on our little screen. Sorry, guys. This is all again adjustments, getting used to, being at a distance and stuff like that. So, yeah. So you said you're on mute. Oh man, where did Strat go? There you go. You gotta unmute yourself, my man. When it's your podcast, you actually gotta speak.
Can you hear me, bro? Hopefully this is better.
Got you.
There we go. Yeah, man, my Christmas was good, bro. We gotta do a lot of I've been doing family shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Snowboarding a little bit. You saw me do a backflip.
I seen your little video where you said when people ask how good you are at the whole thing, and the dude tanking it, pretty much eating ass.
Bro, that's me. That's me in high school.
Is that really a clip?
Yeah,
of
that's
you?
me in high school. We were like in like the back country, and I was like just supposed to go down a jump, and we built it like too curved, and so I just wanted to go jump it, and all of a sudden I'm like in the air.
I swear I thought you took that clip off of YouTube or something.
No, this guy.
That makes it even better. You got to post it again so now I can get a better experience watching it. Hey, guys, if you're tuning in, go ahead and, drop a comment so we know who's all in here so we can interact with you guys. And hope everything is going great with you, man. Yeah, so you said your dad wanted to do what when it comes to Christmas?
Oh, bro. So for Christmas, my dad would make us like take a shower. It'd be like 8:30. Like we couldn't leave our rooms because my parents wanted to make sure Christmas was set up the optimum way.
Yeah.
What else? We'd have to get a picture on the stairs and then we could go downstairs. Like it was so painful.
Oh man,
it was so painful.
Man, you should have seen us trying to wrap these damn things, man. I had flashbacks to my childhood. When you were trying to ear hustle at the door, and then all of a sudden everything goes wrong in the house. Dad, come here, I need you. Everything just to get you to open the door. It's pretty crazy. Both of my kids, 6 and 4 years old, so they're both old enough to kind of be a little bit manipulative. So it was a fun experience, man. But we all enjoyed it. I think it was pretty cool, especially amongst everything that's been going on and stuff.
Right, it's like the only fun stuff you get to do, and you get actual family time.
Exactly.
Let's talk about what are your plans this year for your business? How did this year go for you? Where do you want to take it? And then as we get closer to the middle of the episode, we're gonna show people how to get like your first deal going into 2021. Because like I think especially for you, like you started at the beginning of the year, and like I'm gonna do this shit.
Yeah. It's a great time for a lot of people.
It's a good time. But how'd this year go for you, man?
We'll see tomorrow. It's crazy as that sounds. We'll see tomorrow. I think I've been pretty transparent. I think in this business, you shouldn't take it as bragging when people talk about money, and neither do I talk about money. And neither do I talk about money in a way to brag, right? At the end of the day, it's not all about money, but it's a good measuring stick to kind of your growth of where you've been. So I think a lot of people getting into it, right? They're going to have that goal, just like I did last year, to make 6 figures. Made it skin of my teeth. And obviously each year you want to progress. And it's funny because Mike Zuber is the one who always ends up asking me this question, kind of like, so what's your goal for this year? And I never really have it planned out. And so I did. I was like, hey, I can't do the same shit. So I was like, if I could make $250,000, right, 250 grand, that'd be solid. And so for the most part, if we're talking gross, and that's just like any income type producing, for sure we'll be hitting that mark, if not exceeding it. So yeah, I guess this year is actually a pretty good deal, pretty good year. We doubled our deal count. I think last year we had 8. This year we should be closing on number 16 tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
How about you?
Dope. Bro, COVID hit me hard. I was looking at my KPIs today, and at a point in time, I was spending $8,000 a month in marketing.
Yeah, man.
And I didn't recoup it for like 3 months. To where generally, if I'm going $8,000, I was looking at it for quarter 4, bro. I got my cost per deal. Well, from quarter 2 to quarter 4, I got my cost per deal down to $1,500.
Okay.
And so that was really good. But I mean, the hardest thing for me is being so unsatisfied, because I went into this year like, bro, I'm going for 500,000 to 750,000. Like, if I can get $1 million, awesome. And I'm gonna hit like 300,000
this year. Nice, bro. That's nice. Manly, man. I'm glad that you actually posted a comment, because I was starting to get concerned with our lack of interaction in here, man. I was wondering if the comments was working. Okay, so you said you set your goals high.
Yeah, and then the number one thing, bro, I think I panicked when COVID hit, and I had to restructure. I restructured a lot of branding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I bought that goddamn Amazon store.
Yeah.
And emptied my account.
Yeah.
And I did that at the same time I built my call center. So I was like putting money everywhere else but my business. So it's all based on follow-up. And that is for sure a hit, because you guys can't slow down your marketing whatsoever, because then you'll feel that hit in 3 months.
And but if you think about it, you talk about that, and you talk about the lessons that you learned this year, but you still surpassed whatever goal you had going into the year. So you took risk. Right. And that's what this business is all about. You try to diversify a little bit with the Amazon store, right? You started the call center. And so little things like that. You took risks to try to scale up. And ultimately, those risks, some of them paid off, some of them didn't. But in the grand scheme of things, you still had a better year than what you had last year. And I think that's the big thing.
Yeah. I mean, so my biggest thing is, what's it called? Knowing all of my friends who are doing triple, 4 times more of what I'm doing, and I know exactly what I need to do, and I'm still not hitting the revenue marks I want to. And so this year, my big thing is going to be a lot more KPIs. I did my KPIs for the first time like last week, because I was like, I don't care. Like at this point, like it's all free, right?
Yeah.
Like at this point now, for me, it's all free. So I wasn't that worried about it. But at the beginning of the year, I was just pushing as hard as I could. Just like, all right, throw money at the wall. We're going to get as many leads as possible, and we're just going to close these deals. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, yeah.
And that got a little bit weird. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was a good year overall. As far as other business ventures, dude, I mean, Call Magicians blew up, and that's been a really good business for me. We got some really big things coming at the beginning of the year. I got another business coming up with my friend Dan Brault that I think is going to be really, really big.
Excited to hear about it.
And then the Amazon, I do have an Amazon automation store. So far, it's not doing too hot. If you guys are interested, send me a message. I'm not too happy with it. And
it seems to be a little bit of the consensus, a little bit with the Amazon stores. But again, I still think it's still too early. We know a lot of people who've kind of invested into it. So there's something about it, right? There's something about it that does work. It's really just working out the kinks and trying to figure out why it's not working for some of us.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm still going to buy, with this next deal that I'm doing with Dean, I was going to buy a Walmart store.
Okay. I think Jason just did that, right?
Yeah. Jason's one who told me about
it. Your circle, man. It's your circle.
It's your circle, bro. But yeah, I guess like this year was really good, but the insane competitor in me is like, bro, like this ain't shit. You really, 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 really got to pick shit up. Because like this is nowhere near where you want to be. And then like I had a bunch of projected revenue and then revenue falls out. Business, bro. Business.
But like you said, 100%. It's the competitor in you. But at no point do you ever want to not appreciate what you've done, right? Yeah,
it's hard.
It's hard, right? Because you want to have a growth mindset. You want to make sure that you're constantly trying to push your mindset and take those roadblocks out of your mind. And then when you surround yourself with people, you know, who like we do, it's really, and you're always a small guy in the room. It's really hard sometimes to look at, you know, your art or your scope of work and realize that, you've been able to do some pretty damn good things, man. And I know me and you, we talk about it a lot. And I always say you take more risks than I do.
I take a lot of risks. I take a decent amount of risks. Just like, I mean, if anything happens, bro, I'm going to go fucking drive at DoorDash and sell everything I have again, and then go drive some Uber, bring my son along with me, and we'll be back in a month. You know what I'm saying?
Easy. You know how to do it, man. I think that's the biggest thing. We've learned a skill, and we know how to make money.
Exactly.
Right? So now, man,
it wasn't. I did buy 3 rentals this year too, and I gotta tell you about that shit, bro. This we closed on 2 houses today.
Yeah.
One is a wholesale. The other one's that house on Lyle.
Okay.
And I will make zero money on that house on Lyle. I went in thinking we were gonna make $30,000 profit.
Yeah.
And it is just.
But are you holding on to it, or are you guys gonna wrap that?
No. So we wrapped it. We'll still make like $400 a month off of it.
Bro, it's not sexy, but it's
not
part of the portfolio.
It has been the deal from hell. We'll talk about it though.
And you'll still cash flow it though.
Yeah, it'll be straight cash flow. It's a note, so we don't have to worry about anything else. Yeah. So that's really nice.
So I mean, I guess reflecting on the year, man, it has been a year of growth, a year of frustration. But like you say, I mean, in the midst of a global pandemic, you know, we've thrived. You know what I mean? And so I'm excited for next year. You know, it's going to be year 3 for me. And so it's one of those things where, you know, you feel like you kind of got some stuff figured out, and now it's time to really just fix some things. You kind of know where you got to fix those things, and get a great team behind me and see what we can do going into this next year.
Yeah, bro. The team thing has been huge for me, at least, because now I'm sitting here again. Man, I want to go fucking snowboarding, but no, I got to make these goddamn phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I want to go do this with my family, but oh no, I got to do that. Man, I want to go do this, but no, I got to do that. And so now, more than ever, I mean, I always look at it like at different people who I know are killing it in the game and what they do and what I want to like model around my life. Like, I admire Pace, who's one of my role models.
Yeah.
And he works his ass off and he always brings his family. But I like Mark Evans' lifestyle a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that, and so that's what I want to do. And Pace is obviously there, but Pace loves the grind. And like as far as it goes for me, bro, like I don't care. I don't care about real estate. I just want to make money, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? And I think what helps too, though, is Pace's wife is she's a licensed realtor. So it's I mean, obviously, you know, your wife's going to be a part of your team regardless. But she's probably working just as much as he is, you know what I'm
Right?
saying? So it's not like, you know, yes, he grinds, and I'm in no way am I trying to take that away from him. But you also got to understand the dynamic of probably their marriage. And this is just looking from the outside in. I don't personally know Pace, right? I don't personally know his wife. This is just what I would assume. Just looking at, I mean, they've been able to, you know, do some things that allow them to spend a lot of time together.
Destroyed it this year. I mean,
yeah.
And then you have to look at yourself in the mirror like, Stratton, you weren't working hard enough.
Yeah.
Because then Pace will post a picture at 3 a.m. just so you know. Like, you ain't got it like that, bro. You ain't got it like
that. The funny thing about it is that's kind of what it's become with Clubhouse. As you know, man, I've been telling you about it recently, and I think I've been telling a lot of people. Clubhouse, bro, like it's like nicknamed Crack House. And it's nicknamed Crack House because most investors, if you think about it, unless you've gotten to a point where you've scaled your business and you're kind of just chilling, you know what I mean? Because it kind of just, it's automated. If you're still in the grind stages of it, you don't really, it's all you think about. So you're always up, but you wonder like, who's all up with me? You know, because you're not gonna go live on Facebook or Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And so with Clubhouse, you open it up and then there's some rooms open. So then you hop in those rooms and you're like, fuck, I'm not the only one that's awake right now. So they call it Crack House because you won't fucking go to sleep because it's constant value being dropped in there. And you're afraid of missing out on some gems or some nuggets, you know what I mean? And so you stay in there while you're working late night on some things. It's almost replacing podcasts for me because it's just, there's some heavy hitters in there giving out great knowledge and I'm afraid to miss any of it.
Yeah. And now, so I used to think, what the fuck do these people work on late at night?
Yeah.
And now I've started to do so many systems, SOPs, videos, training modules, this course we're coming out with, all this shit to where like legitimately I could stay up for 48 hours straight and just be on my laptop droned out. And this is where you do this and this is where you do this. And then, but eventually it'll pay off, right? Because now I got this tip from Dan Brault. He has a software to where everything that I click, it takes a screenshot and it highlights where I clicked. He has another application that will transcribe my whole video, and then I have my whole video. And so it creates like an all-in-one SOP as I'm going to where like you can't fuck this up. Like this is where you click and on the screenshot of where you click, it says, so all right, this is the title, this is what you do, this is what it should look like, and then again and again and again and again for every single process I have. And then there's a video for it, and then it's transcribed too. Right. And so that is what I've slowed down everything so I can get all these SOPs in place so I can know when I'm not just going to start spending money. And for sure. Fuck it, we're going. I want to have systems in place to where we can handle it. It's going, we're pushing, but yeah, the SOPs and systems.
And I just said, you know, it's funny. And so whoever is the Facebook user, guys, please make sure you guys authorize StreamYard. Was it access to your Facebook or whatever it may be? Because then at that point, it'll allow us to see who's asking these questions. Manly man, I see you over there. We'll get to the questions. If you guys do have questions, go ahead and drop it on to the right side. And then we'll at some point we'll get to them and we'll go through it. But thank you guys for interacting with us. But you know, with the Clubhouse, and I guess at that point I can pretty much answer that one because people are I'm probably gonna reference it a lot. So with Clubhouse, it's almost, it's social media, but it's turned into almost like a with us being, you know, in the pandemic and stuff like that, it's almost replaced being able to go to conferences because it's a platform that you have to be invited into. Everyone gets like one invite, but if one of your friends downloads the app, it will notify one of us and we can accept you into Clubhouse. And so it's great because it's not necessarily like Instagram where there's a lot of, there's kids and, it's a lot of distractions in there for the most part. So, what I mean? It's very focused. And so like the people that you follow, essentially, those are going to be the groups that show up. And so people can start these rooms. You go into the room and there's moderators, there's speakers, quote unquote, moderators. And then you have people who are in the room. And so there's like an echelon inside of those groups. And then there's a topic. So starting Airbnbs, getting into your first year of real estate. And so you have these high profile guys. I mean, these are dudes that you would have to pay $20,000, $30,000 to be in a room with, you know what I'm saying? And on Clubhouse, you're being allowed to be in these rooms and ask them questions for free. You know what I mean? And so there's no direct messages. There's no chat boxing in general. It's all voices. And so pretty much you click a button to raise your hand. They can call you up on stage. And then you get to ask your question to the panel and they answer it. And so, like I said, it's so much value in there. And it's funny that you were sitting here talking about systems and processes and stuff like that, because that's been my biggest takeaway while being in there and listening to a lot of these guys. It's systems, systems, and systems. And it's funny because you make it through 2 years in this business with the success that, for the most part that we've had. And my systems are the shits.
Well, it's all you, bro.
Because it's all exactly. And so I'm barely getting to that point where I'm starting to be able to put people in different roles. I mean, I have a cold caller. I have a VA through call magicians. And then I have Chris, who's calling straight commission. And then it's me doing the texting. So I don't have a lead manager. I got the 2 cold callers, right? And so at this point, SMS has been a huge. It's been really good for me when it comes to marketing. It's SMS, and that's something that I've done. And there's times where I'm like, man, what am I really doing, right? And it's because when I just had this conversation with Dean, I was like, I can sit here and say I don't have time sometimes when it's going through this, but it's hard for me to even say that because I also understand that people make time for things that they care about. And so then I really got to ask myself, like, do I not have time is why I'm not text messaging right now? And it's not that I don't have time, but it's just when you're ahead of a business, there's other things that you're doing that really
you're getting pulled here, you're getting there,
exactly,
here.
And you're not really working. You're working on the business, but working on the business is working on yourself. So when you talk about being in Clubhouse and listening to podcasts and YouTube videos and reading books, like I feel like I'm so busy because I also understand that my business doesn't flourish unless my mind is right. So me working on the business is working on myself, but those income producing, things still need to get done. And so that's what year 3 is going to be for me. It's going to be about systems and processes and documenting that journey and starting to replace myself in that business so I can continue to be a strong leader and things like that.
Yep. And one thing, bro, that I'm learning, developing leaders is the number one way to scale a business, right? So developing leaders and then hiring on A players. I met Cody Hoffman's partner the other day at my neighbor's basketball game. That was pretty cool. His integrator. Yeah. And so I talked to him about some shit for a while.
Where are those integrators at, man?
They're killing it, bro. And I was talking to him, and that was exactly what he said in systems and SOPs. But yeah, bro, for me, right, so I caught myself today going to post on Meetup.
Yeah.
Made an SOP for that. Like, all right, executive assistant, do that shit. Want to go post on StreamYard. Make an SOP for that. Like, I don't want to do that shit. Like, every single thing someone else can do. And then now, like, I've hired on my sales guy. He's getting trained up. We have our leads manager back. And now we're finally going to start ramping things up and get everything tied back together again. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, the time issue, bro. Because I don't want to I don't want to be in front of a computer all day or be on the phone all day. Like, it's just not my unique ability. Mm-hmm. I feel like truly my unique ability is like thinking and then building relationships for other potential partnerships or whatever else. Like, obviously, in-person sales, I don't struggle with it at all. I don't like phone sales because a lot of times it's just a pain in my ass and I got to make a bunch of phone calls. Yeah. That's why I hired it out. And if I don't
So-
like it, I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to be doing as well as someone else who's better at it. That would be.
For sure. And that's, yeah, man, you're identifying those things that you love to do. And I mean, I love the real estate business, but like you said, I'm more of a people's person. You would think that I would like training people just because, I was in education. I don't like to think that I'm a coach at no point. Well, I coach football, but not like a real estate type coach. But I am good at being able to keep somebody up. And that's kind of listening and reading Think and Grow Rich. It kind of put me on a little track this morning because I'm sitting here listening to it and I'm thinking about the production in my business and the things that we're struggling with. And dude, it's it'll have you thinking down on yourself, man. I'm sitting there listening to the book and they're talking about leadership, and I'm sitting here like, man, are you not getting the production that you need? And everyone knows as a leader, like it all comes back to you. The first, I feel like requirement of when you want to lead something is taking 100%, accountability for anything that goes wrong in that business. And so I'm looking at things and I'm just like, yeah, that could be better. That could be better. And I'm like, well, why isn't it better? And I'm like, shoot, I'm not.
It's you.
Focused. It's because of me.
And then you're just like, fuck, bro.
Because part of it can be them, but it's either
it's you,
we
bro.
Always say, no. No, I'm saying there's always going to be a piece of it where it's just like they might have lost motivation, but then that comes back on me because they lost motivation because I wasn't the one keeping them motivated.
But at the same, you can't. I got this from Steve, and with all of our employees, I've seen it. You can't motivate someone like you hire on someone who's motivated. Period. Right.
Okay.
And
so
then if
when I say motivation,
they get burnt out.
When I say motivation, is because we know this business is hard, and it's not easy getting up you can have motivation, but get your ass whooped when it comes to cold calling, or get your ass whooped when you're realizing you're not closing deals. And so that was something that I actually had to, Chris, sorry, man, I'm kind of calling you out on this one, but it's going to be good for him and just anyone else listening. It was one of those talks where, he's going to be awesome, for our company. And so he hit the ground running strong. But he was able to lock one up. We finally closed that one today, right? Took him 4 months to get his first deal, which is fucking awesome.
That's fast,
right? But he has such high aspirations. This business has a way of just beating you down. You know what I'm saying? And so our talk was similar in a way of, it was just like, look, man, like when I first got started in this business, I didn't have the money, right? I didn't have some of the systems. I didn't have some of the platforms. I didn't have the data, right? All I had was just hustle, right? And so I'm like, with you getting started in this, I'm like, you got this. You don't have marketing costs. You got all the platforms you need. You got the dialer. You got data. So all you got to do is fucking show up. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's all somebody needs. It's not that he lacked motivation, but I failed to notice that the business was starting to wear on him because it wasn't that instant gratification, right? He's 20 years old. He's in social media world, you know, and so
it's dangerous. The social media world is dangerous. I try and post as many losses as possible, right? Because I have people tell me, "Oh, bro, you're killing it." I'm like, what? Like I had a Monday from hell where I lost like 30 grand, and like it's not a lot of money to a lot of people, but to me, I was like, "Fuck, bro, what's going on here?" Like I thought I got this shit to make money, right? And I was fucking Monday. I get like 4 different phone calls, like, bro. And then I talk about it on here so people know it's not all just, oh yeah, man, I'm wholesaling deals, I'm closing deals, everything's easy, right? And then I was listening to Don's podcast today, right before this, and Ryan Shalaba, he's my age, and he's fucking killing it. And he was talking about he didn't close a single deal in November, and he spent 30 grand.
They don't talk about those losses,
right? Social media doesn't talk to you about that bullshit. No. Social media doesn't talk to you like, hey, bro, during COVID, I was shooting out $8 grand a month and we weren't closing no fucking deals. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, no one talks about that. And that is the real aspect to where I honestly think he's lucky, bro. Like, you get to make really good money and you have You have no responsibility. The one thing Alan told me
for
when
sure.
I left, bro, he was like, Stratton, just know that you ain't just go out there and make all this fucking money. Like, you got overhead, you got bills. Like, it's not as much money as you think it's going to be.
Yeah. You know, and I think honestly, and when we had rolled out to that Chowchilla appointment that we had a few weeks ago, that was kind of like the talk that I had with him. I was just like, you know, he's in a position. He's in an awesome position, man. We're kind of just getting it going, and he's the first person that I've brought on, you know, and so he's going to be able to go through a lot of the bumps and bruises that I go through, and that's gonna not only make me respect him a whole lot more, but it's going to build some trust there. You know what I mean? Because he's in there from the beginning. And that was kind of my words of encouragement. I'm like, dude, I got in this business. I already had 2 kids. I had a wife. You know what I mean? I had bills, bro. You know, and so you still stay at home, which I highly encourage you to do, right? You got an opportunity to make more money than, you know, you've ever made, especially at that age. And the harder you go and the more committed you stay to this, I mean, dude, the sky's the limit for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I ultimately see him as a person who will run my day-to-day operation. And as early as that sounds, that's just how much I believe in his ability, you know? And so sometimes you can believe in someone more than, not that they believe in themselves, but they just don't see themselves there yet, you know?
Yeah.
And so he's displayed a lot of those things. And so I'm super excited having him on, and it should be fun, man.
I mean, again, and it goes back to developing leaders and developing people. That's what I've seen, right? Because at a certain point in time, your sales skills going into selling yourself and your company, and it's not as much like a Sandler selling system, but just having that aura. I feel like, so Pace, like, he hires just from, like, good people come to Pace because he's such a high level person.
Yeah.
And so,
it's your brand.
Again, right, it's your brand, but at the same time, you need to get yourself to a point to where you just attract high level people to come into your life.
And that's kind of where your personality kind of works out too, though. You know what I mean? Because unless you're someone who's progressive in thinking, or someone who can hear a message, but and not the tone, right? They don't get their feelings hurt. You will attract those people, because if you're a sensitive person, you're a lazy person, they're not going to be fucking attracted to you.
Oh, hell no.
Because you're an ass, you know. to them, you're an ass. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't even got to worry about that, you know. so just your personality and just who you are as a person, you're gonna attract those people.
Exactly. And but I want to talk about networking. Let me tell you who I talked to over the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So number one, I talked to the head of logistics of all of Vivint.
Vivint, the alarm company,
the solar company, and he manages everything on their West Coast. And I got to sit there and talk to him about a whole bunch of shit. And that was wild, just seeing like how his day to day is, like, in the moving parts that go in for him, right?
Yeah.
Like all those houses, managing all their contractors, everything. Used to be a developer, and now he works for them. That was really cool. Again, like, millionaire.
Yeah.
And then you guys don't have it in California, but I grew up with all the teachers wearing.
Hold up. Bro, you go to Utah for a few weeks, and now it's you guys don't have that in California.
Well, it's like the only thing that California doesn't have.
Your ass was just here, though.
I'm a Utah resident.
I get it. But if we were sitting side by side, hey, we don't have it here, you know, in California. But you take your ass to Utah for a few weeks.
I'm a Utah resident, bro. I'm a Utah resident. I don't know what you're talking about. But the microphones that the teacher's talking to, their family created that because they had a bunch of deaf siblings. And he was telling me about, they did like $70 million in sales alone this year. And I got to talk, and he bought the company from his mother.
Okay.
And he got to tell me about, like, okay, this is how I pay my sales guys. This is how I built. Like, I've had one business coach here. He couldn't really help me. And just like seeing how he structures his days, how he structures his business. And then I got to talk to Cody Hoffline's partner, and they're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Right? What I do in a year, they're doing in a month. You know what I'm saying? And I got to talk to him about all their systems and like what his next step is.
And how broke you are.
And how fucking broke I am compared to him, because he was talking about, oh yeah, you're doing good. Like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, I know who you are.
Your broke ass.
I know what you do with revenue. I damn near know your margins.
Yeah.
But that was really cool just to get to talk to a high level integrator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And see what his day to day is, how he manages talking to his son, how he's got all of his son's basketball games, what he does to manage all that, his transition. That was really, really cool. And that's all from just talking to people, bro. Talking to people, seeing what you do, because now we're in business, and I'm sure everyone knows a decently successful business person in their life who they could talk to, who could show them a thing or two.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, if you're tuning in, look like we got about 15 people in here. Thank you guys for showing up and all that good stuff. Do us a favor, man. Hit the share button. Man. Share our podcast with as many people as possible on your Facebook platform. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them down to the bottom. Yeah, man, we love to see the interaction. Where are you guys from? Go ahead and type that in there for us.
Again, shout out my boy Manny.
Manny, what up, Manny?
And he's killing it down in San Antonio, master salesman.
There's hella people in San Antonio. Okay, talking about that. So that's actually one of the things that, I'm finally going to start investing in myself a little bit, right? I feel like I've been cheap for a while,
bro. That's where all my money goes.
It's about that time. And so when people ask Michael Butler, what are you getting into next year, or what's one of the biggest things that I'm looking into doing, it's definitely going to be some sales. I understand that, I'm at this point, we're able to generate leads. I just think that I'm leaving a lot on the table because the conversion rate, right? If the margins is close, I'm able to go ahead and box them in and stuff like that. And I'm good at building rapport. I'm naturally good at a lot of things on the phone. And I think that's what's made it. I'm kind of getting in my own way. So that's actually something moving forward. That's what I plan on investing in moving forward is some sales training, man. Learning how to box people in. Huh? I don't, at this point, there's a lot of people, man. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's really, and it's not going to be who has the best sales training. It's going to be who do I feel like I mesh the most with, or whose style do I think fits well with me, right? I like to talk. As y'all can see, I like to talk, right? And so Steve I 100% believe he probably has the best sales course out there. But Steve is a whole lot more calmer than I am.
Yeah, Steve is more of like my type of sales guy.
And so I feel like I match a little bit more with someone like Keith Everett. He's just smooth on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
He's cold on the phone.
He's cold on the phone. There's so many people that are just so great. When you talk about, the Steven Moraleses, and you talk about the Keith Everetts, the Chris Jeffersons, like there's amazing people on the phone. So it's really just finding who do you feel is going to mesh well with your personality, who you can take a kick in the ass from, right? And just things like that. Who knows? I might even do both. I might take Steve just because I know it's the best, and those principles, right? Sales principles are going to be the same for the most part. So just being able to do that and then going ahead and sharpening that up with somebody else. So that's kind of what I'm looking into getting into going into 2021.
Hell yeah, bro. Number one thing I will always do, I think we talked about it last time, is I will invest in myself before I buy a real estate deal, before I buy an Amazon store, before I do anything else. Because the one thing I really can't raise money for is for someone to give me money to get into a mastermind. For one, the mastermind's like, what, you can't afford to be in the fucking mastermind?
Yeah.
And for two, like
you want to get in here, but you can't afford to be in here.
Right, you can't afford to be like you can't be in here then. Like you're not at that level yet. Like you haven't developed enough to be here.
Yeah. You haven't spent the money to develop yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then and like I can raise money for real estate deals. Our 3 rentals this year, all no money down, raised capital.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so number one is always investing in myself and bettering myself and learning.
Yeah. And it's funny because as we're talking about investing in yourself, you've already talked about networking. And so when you invest with yourself, you're automatically, it's almost like a force type thing. You're networking because now you're meeting with the people like, you said Manuel right there. Is it Manuel?
Manny?
Your boy Manny? Right?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him at?
Well, I met Manny through my boy JR.
Who you met where?
At Steve's event.
You see what I'm saying? There's quite a few people that you know that you wouldn't have even, maybe you spoke with them through social media, whatever it may be, but you've networked by investing in yourself and going to some of these workshops.
Oh, bro. I mean, my network is so strong to where, like, I always in a mastermind, but like my cell phone is a mastermind where I can like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
I'm having this problem. What should I do here? Or I call up one of my other friends. I call up one of my other friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is going on. This is going on. This is going on. And that has been really awesome. And then you're not alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you have friends who are going through the same bullshit.
Same shit.
And a lot of people aren't. There's only a select few amount of people who are really big on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people who are still business owners who are killing it, who have shitty days still, who you can talk to them. Like, even though they're big, they still have problems. Everybody has problems, bro.
For sure. It's funny. So leading into problems. All right. So I had recently had a deal where we probably locked this up about a month and a half ago. Ran into some issues with when we were dispoing. I JV'd with somebody and we were in the middle of dispoing a deal. We sent it out. Pretty much the way it works is I sent the lead to somebody else. That person locked it up and then marketed the property, dispoed it. And we were going to make a decision on a Friday. On a Wednesday, he had a conversation with the buyer. The buyer's kind of like, what's your buy now price? He told him what our buy now price was. And he reached out to me. My partner reached out to me and I'm like, well, hold up. Because I got another buyer going out there. We say we'll make a decision on Friday. Fast forward, the guy's like, hey, you told me that this was your buy now price.
You're right.
Verbally agreed on this price. And I'm like, hey, bro, you need to go talk to him because, at the end of the day, like, this is a decision that both of us need to make. And I also gave my word to somebody else also. This is kind of what we said we were going to do. You need to go to your buyer and let them know that, you kind of shove your foot up your ass on that one, right? And so dude got upset about it. He's just like, man, if you don't, pretty much you don't sell it to me, like, I'm just going to file less pendants on it. And we're like, well, shoot, there's no written contract. So, it's going to be pretty tough to do. So we pretty much at that point we just canceled that escrow. I got under contract with the buyer. So we canceled the escrow with my partner that he had with the seller. And so then I personally put it under contract under my business and just excluded him from that escrow pretty much. And then we moved forward with my buyer because that's kind of what we did. And it wasn't a huge difference, bro. It wasn't like, one person was at 100,000, another person was at 130,000. Like, this is the difference of $5,000, bro. You're talking about one person's at 100 and the other person's at 105. The only difference is we made the decision on the day that I said we were going to make the decision, or that we agreed we would make the decision on. Fast forward, we are a day from closing, which was last Thursday or Friday. The less pendants pops up. Title company calls me and they're like, hey, we can't close until we saw this. And so, like, we're not that we're shook, but it's one of those things like, fuck, how did he get a judge to sign off on that and get this thing, filed without no assignment? You know what I'm saying? So then at this point, I'm like, shoot, seller's getting a little shaky. Like, hey, we done been in escrow for a while on this one. When are we closing? And so Jason Pritchard actually helped me out on this one, right? We talk about networking. So he connected me with one of his buddies and we're kind of going through, and he's like, man, it'll take you 2 years to fight this thing. I don't think the dude has, anything to stand on, but at the end of the day, it's going to cost you. You know what I mean? And so at that point, I just reached out to the guy, to the seller, to the other buyer, And I was just like, look, as of right now, I have a deal in escrow that we were supposed to be closing today. And now we can't do that because of the list pendants that you filed against somebody who has nothing to do with this file. He's like, so what do you want to do? He was actually pretty cool about it. And so I'm talking to him. He's just like, man, we had a verbal agreement, and I read the messages and stuff like that. And I told him, just like we would do with a seller, I'm like, hey, bro, like, I 100% agree with you. Like, I see how you would feel that way, or I could see how it could feel misleading. Not like I got a leg to stand on at this point, right? Like, I can't close this deal without him. And so we're just talking about it, and we just came up to the conclusion. He's like, look, at the end of the day, someone's going to get a flip, someone's going to get a deal. And we just agreed that it wouldn't make no sense to fight something and pretty much squeeze the profit out of the deal, right? There's just no benefit for nobody by doing that.
You got to tell me who this dude was. You got to tell me who this dude was after this.
Yeah. And so pretty much what we did, I had to call up my buyer, and I pretty much told him, like, man, you're pretty much you're stuck in the middle. You're stuck in the middle. Like, you can close it, you won't get title insurance, right? And it's probably gonna take 2 years to even get this thing settled. He understood. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna have to throw you a deal. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up assigning it to the guy that filed the list pendants. We should be closing that one tomorrow, so he's gonna close that in like 4 days. But in the beginning, it was one of those things where it's upsetting because you're just like, dude, like, the guy threw a fit, filed his pendants to almost force you into it. And that's kind of how we felt in the beginning. I'm like, I'm not getting bullied into this shit. Like, this is what we said. We waited till Friday. Bro, he apologized to you. He misled you. That shouldn't have been the case. I personally feel like it could have been something that could have just been dropped at that point. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I told my partner, I said, look, dude, the way that works out is he's earned the right to be able to do that. Like, think about it. He filed something off principle, got that shit applied like that. I'm like, bro, the lesson from this is that we got to step our fucking game up.
You got to step your game up. Fuck that.
You got to step your fucking, bro, like, honestly, I can't say if I didn't have the money and someone did that shit to me, I wouldn't flex on them the same way.
I don't
like
have
he's earned, bro. He didn't do shit. He hit up his attorney, and his attorney handled it. Apparently, like, this, the dude is supposed to, be big shit in his area. So it was one of those things. I thought it was fucking some boss shit. I'm like, man, I gotta step my game up.
I mean, the only thing I would say, it sucks when you JV, right? And you do not coordinate accordingly.
Yes.
The way I like to handle it now is like, all right, one dude handles the buyers, and you can use whatever, our list or whatever. You send it out, but you handle it all. I don't want 2 different communications and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Like, one person is the point of contact. And then if that doesn't happen, then you go to other avenues. But until that point, one person handles it all.
Yeah.
And then you move forward, because you have shit like that happen all the time where one person's mad because, like, whoa, we could have fucking sold it for more with this guy. What are we doing?
But you know what? I think, like I said, the lesson in that whole thing was, you just, at the end of the day, I don't think the guy was wrong. Like, I think the way that he felt, it was justified. You know what I mean? Just, you don't run into it where that's how it's going to be handled. But again, if you have the resources to do some shit like that, why wouldn't you? Don't fuck with me.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I would say.
Huh?
Sounds like some shit I would say.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I just took it that way. At the end of the day, our seller still gets taken care of. We get to take care of a list pendants that was on it. We both save money in the long run. I mean, I'm not trying to freaking spend $10,000 fighting something that's going to squeeze the profit. You know what I mean? Some bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, like, it was over $5,000. And like he even said, bro, it's $5,000. It's not even that big of a deal. It's the principle for me. He was like, own what you say. And I was like, bro, like, you right. You know what I mean? Like, you right. So the dude's actually a really good buyer, man. So I look forward to selling him some more deals.
That's fucking wild. Let me tell you about my issues.
Go ahead.
Monday morning, I get I check my email, and the Lyle house, all the electrical panel has been ripped off. The furnace has been scrapped and taken. and then my AC unit was ripped completely out, like gone. Like
not
I'm
funny,
looking
man.
at it, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And this bitch was supposed to close 2 weeks ago, but the escrow company. What's going on, my man Max? And I get that phone call. I get another phone call about Call Magicians or something that's going to cost me like a few grand. And
Yeah.
then there was one more phone call to where at the end of it, it ended up being like a $30,000 day. And I was like, Jesus Christ! Like I came out here to like relax, still work from home, be a badass. And I think this Lyle property will be the only property. I mean, I won't lose money on it, right? I'll still make my money back in a year.
Yeah.
But it'll be the only time I've had to write a check for a property to pay some shit back on it. Right? So we're making we're gonna make $20,000 on a down payment on this thing.
Okay. Oh, but
that is all going towards bullshit.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
All of it. All of it is going towards bullshit on this property. It's fucking insane.
There you go. Squatters need a gift too, bro.
I had someone going there 6 times a day, dude. And I went and looked at the pictures, and they stole this shit in the middle of the day.
Hey, so it was a good deal then.
Oh, bro, it was a fat deal. I mean, it would have been $30,000.
Who'd you get that deal from?
Oh, I got it from my friend Michael Butler.
Oh shit, man. I hate to hear you going through this shit, man, but hey, the numbers worked, right?
Oh my, bro, man. I was so mad. There was another fucking thing that like popped up too. And I took up Kalani to her snowboarding lessons. And she was like, "Are you going to come out with me?" I was like, "I got to put out a couple fires." And I stayed in that goddamn car in the middle of a snowstorm and was on my laptop and on my phone.
Hot in the middle of the snow.
Dude, hot, bro, melting all the snow off my car. Just trying to get some bullshit figured out. With the escrow company's been awful, bro. This thing was supposed to be closed 2 weeks ago. And so if it would have been closed, I wouldn't have had to deal with all this nonsense. What else? They have just done the wildest shit, bro, to that house. The wildest shit.
Escrow companies have been hard for a lot of people recently, and I think it's starting to speed up because we just opened up an escrow last week, like last Thursday, and from my understanding, we got prelims and stuff back. So it's starting to catch up a little bit more. It's not taking 2 weeks to get these prelims.
With these creative finance deals, bro.
Oh, it's already taking longer,
bro. Well, it already it eliminates 90% of your title companies.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have this one's an FHA loan.
Okay.
And we bought it sub 2 and we're selling it on a wrap. And so that eliminates 90% of the 10% that were there. Yeah. And then you have like 2 people who you think may do business. We used one of them the last time and she was awful.
Yeah.
And so we find another chick, shout out Rochelle, she finds her. We use her and then she's dragging her feet and she doesn't respond to phone calls, emails, nothing. Like, hey, we're supposed to be closed today. Where the hell are you? And nothing, bro. So that was my issue, but I signed documents for that thing today, looking like, oh yeah, I get $28,000. So like those gurus who like post like fat checks, like, hey, I just made 28 grand. That shit probably happened to them. Max actually just Max posted a similar picture, being like, I could say I made 50 grand, but I have to pay X, 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 and X.
No, that's what it comes down to.
Guru said it's easy. They said it's no problem.
Yeah, no problem, man.
No problem.
It does, man. And it's unfortunate, but again, it's one of those things like it's problems, but then at the same time, it's problems that a lot of people wish they had for the most part.
Right. My dad was like, you're going to get $200 a month forever now? Like, or at least for like the next 30 years? I was like, yeah. He's like, you're mad about what? Like, you got to write like a $2,000 check and you're mad about what?
Yeah.
I don't care.
And it's funny because, to be honest with you, we posted the whole deal. Like I posted the deal today because it was a check for $27,500. And so the whole point of that one, first and foremost, it was my boy, Chris. It was his first deal. I was juiced for him, right? So he made $5,000 off of that deal. So people can see it and be like, oh man, you made 27.5. Well, first and foremost, that deal, we ended up having to switch buyers just because of the whole hard money thing, dude. We had a contract. Oh, dude, we had the contract. It was expected to close December 20th. When reaching out to the buyer, I'm like, hey, like, what is this looking like? Like, oh, we need an appraisal. I'm like, oh, I'm like, they're barely asking for this appraisal. And then they were a stiffler on the time. They were just like, we can go at 11 o'clock. I'm like, well, hey, the tenants don't get home till 3. Can we do it sometime around 3? They're like, I guess they never got back to her. And so I was like, well, hey, the assignment said this is the day that we're looking to close. And, she was straight up with me. She's like, look, she's like, I talked to the hard money lender. They said they don't see this getting done until January 8th. And at that point, I was fuming because I'm like, they can give two shits about what my contract said. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a contract, bro. Like, I assigned this deal probably like right after I locked it up.
Bro, right after it. I remember.
You know what I mean? So when they got this assignment, they seen my fucking closing date on it. So when you tell me, January 8th, like, I get that some things take time, but like, you're not even like trying to get this done within the time that's on that contract. You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know what? And I felt bad for the buyer because it wasn't even her fault, but I was just like, it's unacceptable. At this point, like I have my word that I gave to my seller. And ultimately, I mean, my word comes before anybody's word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there's nothing if my word doesn't hold up to people, and so luckily she reached out, got me, she brought me a new buyer, and this person closed in like 4 or 5 days.
Right, and that's dope. And that dude is a legit buyer.
Oh, for sure. And so what ends up happening is the contract, I don't know if there was any type of confusion on it, but we were supposed to make 27.5 off the first one. And I called him out on it too, because we were assigning it at like 122.5. And when we switched buyers, he's like, yeah, I can do 120. And so I actually called him when I seen the HUD pretty much, and it said 27.5. I'm like, oh man, this is off. And I'm like, man, this is a test. I'm like, this is a test. He's gonna see if I'm gonna call him and let him know that he paid too much. So I hit him up and I was just like, hey man, like I owe you $2,500. And I was like, which is bullshit, by the way. I said, because you knew I needed a buyer at that time. I said, and he was like, yeah, I just, I had to feel like I was getting a deal out of it. I came in at 120. I said, you knew I had no leg to stand on either. You knew I was gonna be like, yeah, that's good. You know what I mean? So so $2,500 goes back to him, paying my caller. He's getting $5,000 on that one, and then the rest of that money is pretty much what I used to. I got private money is what I used to furnish and stuff that Airbnb. So,
bro, you couldn't have even thought about that last year. Think about that. This 100%. Time last year,
100%. And so you can see a check for 27.5 and then realize like it ultimately ends up being like a $4,000 check.
Right. And then that $4,000 check goes into marketing and it's all gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
All gone, man. So again, those are problems, or I guess that you could say we're blessed to have. But man, it was actually fun, bro. If you tell me I can throw $20,000 at something and freaking it's gonna bring me, between $1,500 and to $2,000 a month, I do it every time.
Right. That thing is gonna be a cash cow for you.
So we just booked somebody in there for 44 days. So
are you serious?
Yeah, till February 8th.
That is dope.
You know what I'm saying? So that's already a good thing. I'm already looking to see if I can get into some more. Again, Airbnb rental arbitrage. Someone just reached out to me about it, and I just told him, I said, look, we all want to build rental portfolios, and you talk to a lot of people who have a good size portfolio, right? And it's taking them a while to do it. A lot of people who are just starting doing it, the first thing they say is, I wish I did it sooner. Because at the end of the day, you spend this money on these rentals and you burn them, and you cash flow $200, $300 a month off of them. And so people rather do the $10,000-$20,000 wholesale checks because they're more sexy than the $200-$300 cash flow, right? But again,
it's hard to look at it and say no. Like, oh, do I want to turn down 30 grand?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because $200-$300 a month ain't sexy. But again, you're not buying these rentals for now. You know what I'm saying? You're buying them for, a few years down the road. And so that's actually what I'm starting to like about this Airbnb arbitrage, is because I don't see it being something that's gonna last the next 30 years and I'm gonna go sit off in Maui somewhere for you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna hang it up off of Airbnb or short-term rentals, but I definitely think it's gonna be something that it's sexier than $200 to $300 a month. It's scalable, so it's something that you can do pretty damn fast. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take much to get it up and going. And so at that point, you get a few of those, you start netting about 10 grand a month. Now you're no longer worried about money. You're no longer worried about marketing expenses and mortgages and stuff like that.
And you can take more risk, bro.
And you can take more risk. And so then at that point, you can actually go start building the shit that's not so sexy. You know what I mean? Airbnb should be good for at least the next 10 years.
Right.
So why not build a portfolio with something that is sexy, that is going to give you some nice little cash flow, instead of start using that to start building your portfolio that's not so sexy. By the time you actually realize that Airbnb goes away, your portfolio might be pretty fucking sexy.
Right. Well, my biggest thing is, right, when it comes to cash flow, I want as much like passive cash flow so I can be as aggressive as possible and not have to worry about anything.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so like Call Magicians is a lot more of it's much more of a stable cash flow type of business, a lot more predictable. I have that as cash flow. We have the Amazon store as cash flow. We're going to buy that Walmart store. That's cash flow. And then we have like affiliates and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows me now to where I'm super aggressive. And I don't really have to worry about it. Like, whatever, like, okay, I don't get paid from this one stream of income, but we're still going to make X amount from this stream of income. We'll be good. The bills are paid.
Yeah, for sure. Security, man. Security. That's one thing we don't get in this business. And so the sooner that you can get it, at the end of the day, I love wholesaling. I love the hustle of it. But I also love where real estate can get us to allow us to focus on things that we actually, fuck. Maybe I want to go open up a Chipotle somewhere, bro. Maybe,
well, something you're passionate about. Like,
something you're passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, I've always wanted to give back, and it's no secret. I'm from Southeast Fresno here. Went to Sunnyside High School, and so giving back to my high school is always something that I've always wanted to do. But I want to be the one 10 years from now where I'm able to just stand on the sideline because I'm not worried about, making money, and I could just give money away. You know what I mean? To things that I care about, things that actually make a change in your community and stuff like that. So that's kind of my why.
Right. I mean,
I want to make enough money so I can give money.
I want a jet, but like I want to be able to help inner cities. I just think governments are incompetent and like they don't do it right. Right. I feel like if instead of sending my money all the way to Washington, D.C. to have them go and disperse it the wrong way, I might as well start a nonprofit like we did. And then go into those communities ourselves and help everyone like that. Yeah, and the only way I can do that is with the cash I have.
Bro, my man Rob Golden, he played football at Edison, went on and All-American at Arizona, I believe. I know he played like he started from the day he got there. Played like 6-7 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dude just freaking, he's building a school.
Right.
Bro, a school. Like, if that ain't some dope shit, I believe it's the Golden Academy or Golden. It's pretty much going to be linked with Fresno, with the Fresno Zoo. And what it's going to do is it's pretty much, and again, I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to talk about it the wrong way, but for the most part, it's pretty much getting kids out of like a traditional classroom, and they're learning science like at the zoo, and it's more hands-on, it's more interactive. And I'm not 100% sure the location of it, but it's pretty much going to be like it's the Golden Charter Academy or something like that. But it's fucking awesome, dude. Like, you never hear of dudes coming back. I mean, fuck, LeBron did it. You know what I'm saying? But like, think about that. You don't hear of a lot of people coming back to their hometown and starting to school. Like that's some legendary type shit. Like his boys is gonna grow up one day and be like, yeah, like my dad owns that school.
school's named after my dad. My dad
School's
started
named
that
after my
school. Like
dad.
that's
You know what I mean? Like that's some
legacy.
legendary shit. That's legacy. And it's freaking awesome. So shout out Rob, man. I'm just proud of you, man. And that's definitely some inspiration.
A G5. I don't know who that is, but yes, a G5.
G5. But you know what I want, man? I want some more deals.
Send me I'll buy your deals.
I want some more deals, man. There's plenty of realtors out there that I probably haven't had a chance to speak with. There's plenty of brokers out there, other investors out there, man. Send me some deals. That's definitely something I'm looking forward into 2021. I need to build this portfolio. I need to make sure get me some flips in there. So if you are out there, man, hit up Stratton or myself. Send us your deals in Fresno County. We like, Kingsburg, Fresno, Tulare, Visalia, Merced, Kern
I
County.
can go from Ridgecrest to Sacramento.
Yes. So if you guys see those deals, man, reach out to us, send them to us, send us a DM, all that good stuff.
You got any parting words, bro?
No, man, this was, I said no, and then I started giving you parting words. Man, I feel like I haven't spoke to you. So again,
right. I haven't talked. It's the first time I haven't talked to you in like a week. I've been too damn busy.
But that was kind of the point of this podcast when we originally thought about it, was just like conversations that we have. People could probably get some type of value from them. And so it's funny that we haven't really spoke, and this ends up being a conversation that we probably would have had on the phone that we've opened up for an audience to be able to just have a front row seat into. So if you guys if you guys weren't here in the beginning of the podcast, we mentioned Clubhouse. Go ahead and download that app. And then it will notify either Stratton. I don't know, Stratton, are you on it yet? It'll notify you or myself if we're friends already on, I don't know how maybe
Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, whatever it may be. It'll notify us and we'll be able to let you guys in so you guys can get in there and start. I spoke with Dean, and I think we're going to start a Central Valley group in Clubhouse. And so it'll most likely be a private group. So it'll be invite only. So you'd have to kind of reach out to us for it instead of opening it up, because we want it to be, I think, going into 2021. One of the biggest focuses that we wanted to have was networking within our community. And so I think starting a Clubhouse group on there is going to allow us who don't sleep, right, turn this thing into crack house. It allows us to have these conversations with each other without having to necessarily be on the phone, or, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of just tune in and kind of hear what people are doing and maybe talk about some deals, or, just something other than Facebook, because Facebook is going to be different. And so I'm really liking the concept behind Clubhouse. So if you haven't already, download Clubhouse. And then from that point, it'll notify us and we'll go ahead and accept you on there. And we look forward to seeing you on there.
I don't got anything else, bro. Clubhouse, send us your deals. What's it called? Call magicians for your callers. Enjoy your family, man. And then my last parting words, I heard this from Mark Evans the other day on his podcast. He was like, I bought a house for 15 acres because I want an estate to where I can create memories for my entire family for generations to come. Fuck. And nothing like that has really resonated with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are like wondering about a why or something else, that I thought was just like so cool. Like, yeah, an estate for my family.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we're going to grandpa's house. Oh, nope. They're going to inherit the big house and the next family moves in, like an estate.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
think about and dream way bigger than you are now, bro.
Well,
everybody.
It's funny because it just dawned on me that this will be our last podcast of 2020. So the next time we're on here it'll be 2021, and it's going to be the start of somebody's real estate journey. Someone who's been on YouTube and been listening to podcasts, or they've been thinking about getting into real estate. and you're still in that analysis paralysis stage, we're about to hit January 1, man. Leave all that analysis paralysis in 2020, hit the ground running in 2021, January 1st, change your life, change your family's life. But somebody is dependent on you to make it. And you're only going to be able to do that by getting started. So,
hell yeah. Thank you, bro. I will talk to you soon.
the show.